You guys, I don't know if you saw it. They say that the singularity is here. I don't believe it, but I believe that the developments are very promising, very promising. Andrej Karpathy released this update about his Autoresearch project that basically improved another project of his by a lot. Stick around to find out more. I know the format is different. That's the whole point. Nobody wants slop. You want to watch something original, weird. Just because it's weird, there could be cool ideas. Like, for example, put up the alarm and go for a run. Who's stopping you getting healthier, you know? Just do it. Autoresearch basically is iterating and improving another project of his just by throwing a swarm of very simple models, lightweight models, at the problem, which is indeed improve this. What that means, but that's the key part. I think that the key is to leverage the probabilistic aspect of AI models, so that basically, even if you run the same prompt 50 times, you might get widely different results at the end. And if you pair that to iterations with feedback loop, you have quite a powerful combo. In a way, you are modeling evolution, which also AI is kind of built on those ideas. Machine learning, I should say. But AI is sexier. But the point is that these systems are going to become mainstream because now there are easily accessible GitHub repositories that you can just go there and clone or whatever and play with and apply to your domain. So now research itself became a much simpler business, so to say. And of course, something that you will always see in everything related to AI, and I would say tech in general, is that people will notice changes that sometimes are negative, but this is part of the game. The game is that things are definitely going to change, for good or for worse, because right now, who is running these models is changing things, is adjusting knob and trying to optimize for their result, and generally speaking, their results should be kind of like work together with their customers' outcomes. Sometimes it just doesn't work, but there's this thing called feedback loop, which is in this case customers complaining, that can make you adjust and fix all your fuck-ups. Understand? But going back to Autoresearch, so this thing basically capable of running optimizations that can be compared to, like, I would call it legacy way of doing research. And it's wildly different. Previously you had to digest the paper and set up the experiments yourself and try again and wait for the model to do its thing, make sure that the data you collected is correct, all these things by yourself. But we are moving towards a world where these things can be automated more and more. And remember, this is just one aspect of research. Now apply this to everything. Think about pharma, think about biotech in general, think about materials engineering, literally all sorts of things. And there's this thing about knowledge, is that it compounds. So you learn lessons, you improve your baseline of what you know, and then the next version of yourself, of your knowledge, are based on these new findings that are a better version of what you had before. And to go back at these examples from Andrej Karpathy, maybe you have something that goes much faster, produces better results for less cost. because the two things are connected. And the next iteration of everything else is based on top of that. So you started at T0 with none of these improvements in place, and you had a performance of 100. Now this performance is 120. So you gain 20%. But that's now the new 100. It's the new 100 now. You keep doing the same over and over again. It's insane, honestly. And I'm not gonna claim like, oh guys, this is AGI, Singularity. No. I wanna try to be moderate and say, okay, this is cool. We are applying the scientific method. But yeah, we have been doing this for centuries. The difference is now they are building machines that can do that not only in the realm of software, zeros and ones. They can do that potentially on many more industries and domains. Because it's the technique, the methodology that is, I dare to say, revolutionary. Even though it's not really a revolution, it's just applying concepts to a novel thing. And this has been progress since forever. So yeah, very excited about this. Let's see if it takes us to a prosperous future or to something more like dystopian. We shall see. But you gotta be optimist. You have to. Of course, you want to hold on to your path, but you know, in a measured way. You don't wanna go crazy holding on to these buds.
A few moments later.
Look at this. Meantime, I can smell cornetos and coffee. It's like torture. I've been fasting since yesterday at lunchtime. So I can feel my stomach saying, dude, what's up? Yes. Where are you? Show yourself. Oh, you're up there. Hello. The little guy wanted to say something about it. Oh, before you go, one more thing made the news apparently. Maybe we are just bored. We all have these vintage kink with like these synthwave 84 and even older things like, I don't know, first-person shooters like Doom, playing on all sorts of hardware like pregnancy tests, lawnmower, what else? Oh, ultrasound scan machines, satellite systems, radar systems, and then we saw it also be rendered and played on weird things like Excel, even TypeScript for fuck's sake. And the list is long. I'll show you guys in the description some of the links of the funniest thing I've ever seen. But now we got to the point where we are using brain cells to control Doom and potentially to learn how to play it in a way that sucks less. I mean, right now, it really sucks. It dies every 5 seconds or something. But that's not the point of the experiment. The point is that they have built basically a bridge between the digital side and the biological one, so that these electric signals can go through the neurons, and we could do some cool AI stuff with it, as in reinforced learning and stuff like that. I don't know, right now everything sounds like very marketing hype, and probably to an extent it is, but a lot of these claims have been partially debunked by the researchers themselves. They just want to say, we built this thing, but now it's for you to build on top of it, because actually this repository that is making the news was built apparently by a guy in 2 weeks. Independent research in 2 weeks. Now, if it's true or not, nobody knows, but looking at the code, it doesn't sound extremely complex. What? No, it is fairly complex, but if you work in AI and machine learning, this stuff is easy peasy. So where do we stand? Well, this team did something similar in the past, I think in 2021. And it was basically the same system playing Pong, which is this very simple game I'll show you here. But you just have to score and make sure that there's a score on your side. So it's very simple. We have the ball, and we could argue that the rule is that follow the ball and make sure that it doesn't score. Fair enough, that's the simple rule. That even without supervised learning, a neural network that is capable of receiving feedback, like, oh, I'm winning or I'm losing, you can optimize for these success paths, and in the end develop some sort of learning, because all the losers died. Simplifying it. The players that are spawned, that play the game in a very shitty way, die, while the others that are pretty good, they have a talent for playing Pong, and they are granted the right to reproduce. Wait, isn't it like society works? Never mind. Sorry, I got lost for a second. And yeah, so very simple, very few knobs, switches and buttons for this thing to play with. But Doom is a completely different game. It's 3D, there are enemies that are popping left and right, you can shoot, and there are walls, you have HP, maybe other things like shields and stuff like that. So, the possibilities are endless. But this makes it a good, very good playing ground to try out these techniques. Very cool. So I've been playing with it a little bit. I've also been interrupted by my OpenClaw instance, because it's actually listening to whatever I say and the documents I put in a folder for research. And it's kind of like acting like a devil's advocate that tells me if I'm bullshitting or not. Most of the not I am. But everyone knows that. I'm just not aware of myself fully. But I will repent, I promise. Father, forgive me because I have sinned. So yeah. My Aragost, which comes from Aragosta, which is lobster. I'm Italian, give me a break, okay? Interrupted me with some weird stuff, and I had to check it out, and that's more or less the reason why I'm doing this video. So don't blame me, blame the lobster. I'm pretty pumped because I have some important meetings coming up. Exciting stuff. Let's see how that goes.
Sorry boss, I gotta say, that's not really run on GPUs, that has been run on brain cells.
What are you on about? Brain cells?
Yes boss, that's brain cells actually praying doom for you. Check it out.
Meanwhile.
So yeah, I will be playing with this. I show some footage here, and I'll add some voiceover. Now I guess I'll turn back. I'll add some voiceover, and I want to play with it. I want to see if things are the way they actually describe them, and have some fun with you guys. That's it for this video. I hope you like it. Bye guys, take care.